Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, and welcome everyone to another episode of Hobo Prepper. For those that have said about the shakiness of my footage on a bike, I am trying the built-in image stabilizer because the software makes it look like crap. So this is going to be the best I can do, and please bear with me, I guess. Alright, so I wanted to kind of check in and give you guys an update because I haven't really done anything in about a week. We had a death in the family. My stepmom's brother had an unexpected pass away. So that's been going on. And plus myself, I didn't realize how exhausted I got, and you know, I really pushed myself into the ground with all this prepping that I've been doing, trying to get myself ready for the for the big trip. I keep wanting to make it, but I keep not making it. And so I posted a video quite a few days ago making a response to something that Southern Prepper 1 had said, and I've got quite a few interesting responses. I've got one guy you know, he means well, that's all I can say. But, you know, there are so many things. Everybody thinks that your taxes are paying for everything, and that's really not true. The income tax, it goes into a private trust that is in Puerto Rico, which is a U.S. territory. It will never come stateside because it has to remain under federal jurisdiction, not state jurisdiction. See, they keep adding shit on top of shit with the governments and the way that they keep changing the bureaucracy and so on and so forth. But at the root, you still have the Constitution. So as long as you have all the states together with the Constitution and the Union, the federal government will always have its hands tied. And I'm going to talk about this whole talk about Civil War here in a minute, but you know, as far as taxes goes, it is set up in a private trust. There has been somebody that did enough research. Now, one of my viewers, Bridget, I believe she got the book Fruit from a Poisonous Tree, and she can confirm it if she's read the book, that it's the Crown Bank of England, or the actual British Crown, that set it up. Because in a lot of ways, we're still having to pay the war debt from the Revolutionary War. It's an insurmountable debt. We'll never be able to pay it. And on one hand, we won our political freedom, but on the other hand, we lost our economic freedom and put ourselves right back into bondage. We may have changed the names and faces of our master, but we still have the same master. So nothing was ever accomplished from the American Revolution. As much as we'd like to think there was nothing that was actually accomplished on a grand scale. The things that they tell you in school are to, you know, give you the patriotism to turn it into a religion. And the Constitution is a legal document. It is rules binding between the states and the federal government. And since the states get their power from you and me, then by our power, we're allowing them to stay in this union. And it's a legal document. And the second you have breach of contract to a point to where it is so egregious, to where you have now both the left and the right. See, last summer it was the right talking about Civil War. Now apparently it's the left talking about Civil War. And the thing is we keep getting Civil War after Civil War after Civil War talk. It's really, I mean, for the last couple of years, everybody keeps saying it's a Civil War. We're starting in a Civil War. There is so much more that can, there's so much more that needs to be talked about before we even get to that point. But they've even started posting articles like national divorce. Like, why would... Here's the thing, people. If you buy into this, and get frustrated, you're a lemming. This is being orchestrated to get you to essentially what's going to happen is you're going to be pushed against the wall. You're not going to be given a choice. You're going to be given you're going to be given a choice, but your choice is that at the end of the day, either you submit or you face the consequences, which may be fate worse than death. I mean, death is probably the nicest thing that could happen to you at that point. But the thing is if you fight and force the union to dissolve, then we're gonna get tyrants next. And you think that we got bad tyrants now? Imagine having somebody like Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il or whoever these people are. Imagine having one of them as your leader. You know, that's what we've got coming. Because there are factions within our society that have just become that demented that if you ever watch these TV shows, you'll always see it. It's like you have this one person, right? And they'll be like, oh, what these people are doing is wrong. It's bad. It's not good. It's like, okay, well, let's go fight against them and let's go fix it. Well, by the end of it, when they end up fixing it, they end up becoming as bad or worse than the people that they replaced. And there's lessons and morals to be learned from these shows. These shows aren't just for entertainment. They're there to teach us lessons. And there are some of us that are wise enough to figure this out, but not very many. That's why I disputed the whole wanting to have everything based in reality. You have to have fantasy. Because without fantasy, you have no ability to tell some of the darkest things in society in a polite manner that doesn't traumatize people. You need to have some sort of fantasy. You know, the purpose of media. See, my grandfather, on my mom's side, he was a World War II vet. One of the things he always told me is that the TV and the radio are meant for information and news. On a rare occasion, they would watch a game show and maybe a Tonight Show. But all TV was in his household was a way to share information in a mass way. Well, fantasy is the same way. So if you agree with me, tell me why you agree with me. If you disagree with me, tell me why you disagree with me. But the thing is if we go on a civil war, it's not going to be pretty. Because I read something in the Meyer contact notes, something that kind of struck me, because I'm asking myself, because I see myself going along the same route. It kind of scared me a little bit to actually see a reflection of myself for just a quick second. Because he's talking about, it's happening in the Ukraine right now. You have a lot of revenge killings. And, you know, they're going to be happening a lot more around the world as more civil unrest happens, as the rule of law breaks down, as the threads of society come unwound. You're going to start having revenge killings. And there's a lot of people that have either feel that they were wronged or were actually wronged. And quite frankly, I think it's going to come more from the people on the left and left-leaning than it is going to be on the right. Because the right at least has a lot closer knit community, unlike the left. And so in like the left-leaning places, you're probably going to see a lot of that going on. And this is what we have to look forward into civil war. Your neighbor, what's that one movie where once a year everybody gets to go out and murder is legalized, and this is how they kept society in line so that they could go out there and settle scores. I forget the name of the movie, but if you know what I'm talking about, then put it down in the comments, would you? But this is going to get to a point where your neighbor's going to piss off the wrong person. And they say, a guy 4 or 5 doors down kicks in your door. Or here's a better example. My dad tries to be the neighborhood bully from time to time. There's this kid who rides his motorcycle up and down the street. Yeah, it's annoying, but it is a roadway, and he does have the ability to. My old man, he doesn't like it, thinks it shouldn't be done, and therefore because he's in a HOA, he goes in, makes a complaint, gets all this stuff done. I keep trying to remind him, say, look, you don't want to be too much of a dick to somebody, because guess what? We might have 4 cops that live here, but these cops are more worried about protecting themselves and their families, not about you. And this kid, he knows nothing's gonna happen to him. He might come and deal with you because you know what? He didn't like the way you did it. What you did was an abuse of power. It was unfair, and it just finally got to a point where it's intolerable. And the thing is we've been going through this as a society, God knows how long. But like all of a sudden, it just became intolerable. It's like nothing changed. It's still the same old status quo, but for some reason, it's no longer tolerable. So just think about that when you're interacting with people, because I know for me, revenge killing, I have a few people on that list, and it made me sit back and think and go, you know what? Maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe I'm getting too carried away. And if you might have that thought, maybe you're getting too carried away too. Because at the end of the day, you still have to live with yourself. And just because somebody pissed you off, does it mean that they did you wrong? No, it doesn't. They might be an asshole. They might be a dickhead. They might be a bitch. But if you're gonna kill people for that, just because you don't like them, well then, you should expect the same to happen to you. Because what you do to others, others will do to you. All right. Alright guys, I think I'm going to end this. Thanks for watching. I hope you found some value in this. I hope to hear your comments. And I'll see you on the next video.